The air within the crypt didn't just turn cold, it curled, thick with the scent of unwashed copper and dead, stagnant desire. When the laden knife, etched with symbols that seemed to wraith like hooked worms, first made contact with the pale skin just below her navel, it wasn't her body that screamed, but the fundamental vibration of existence. This wasn't a wounding of flesh, but a systematic unmasking of her creative core, with every sickening twist of the blade. The vital, amber current of the sacral was being dammed, twisted, and converted into a corrupted, vicious ichor that would never flow with joy again, leaving behind only a freezing, abyssal void that began slowly to turn her soul into a mirror of its own emptiness. Welcome to the Sovereign Renaissance, a channel through the arcane, mystical, and occult science. In esoteric energy traditions, the sacral chakra, located in the lower abdomen below the navel, governs emotional flow, creativity, pleasure, sexuality, relationships, and fluid dynamics within the body. When dark, parasitic, or malicious rituals are directed at the sacral, often through blood magic, sexual occult workings, or dark bindings, the intention is to manipulate, corrupt, or siphon a person's creative and life generating vitality. Spiritual and energetic consequences. Corruption of creative power. The sacral chakra is the wellspring of raw creation and passion. Dark workings corrupt this energy, turning inspiration into obsessive, destructive impulses or causing a total atrophy of creative output. Energetic vampirism and sexual bindings. Because the sacral governs sexual energy, dark rituals such as coerced etheric cords or succubus or incubus workings latch onto the center to siphon vital force, binding the victim to a spiritual parasite or practitioner through illicit energetic cords. Emotional poisoning and manipulation. Compromising the sacral center pollutes the emotional body, leaving the victim open to synthetic emotional states such as unnatural obsessions, irrational jealousy, or overwhelming emotional despair that is not originally their own. Psychological and emotional symptoms. Anhedonia and emotional numbness. Sudden, complete inability to feel pleasure, joy, or intimacy, leading to a grayed out perception of life where nothing brings satisfaction. Obsessive and compulsive behaviors. Unnatural sexual fixations, sudden loss of personal boundaries, or addictive behaviors surrounding sex, substances, or toxic relational dynamics. Deep guilt and shame. Intense, unearned feelings of guilt, shame, or self loathing regarding one's body, desires, or personal identity. Physical and somatic manifestations. Because the sacral corresponds to the reproductive organs, kidneys, bladder, and bodily fluids, disruptions at this level often precipitate into distinct physical issues. reproductive and hormonal distress, sudden unexplained dysfunction in reproductive health, severe hormonal imbalances, or chronic pelvic pain with no clear medical cause. Renal and urinary issues, persistent kidney infections, bladder inflammations, or fluid retentions, reflecting the stagnation and pollution of the energetic element of water. Chronic fatigue and pelvic tightness, deep exhaustion rooted in the lower abdomen, accompanied by unexplained tightness, cramps, or a sensation of heaviness in the hips and lower belly. Countermeasures and energetic purification. Salt and water cleansing. Immersing in natural bodies of water or taking baths with high-grade sea salt, hyssop, and camphor to draw out heavy foreign energy cords from the lower abdomen. Cord cutting ceremonies. Utilizing visualization or ritual blade work, such as an athame, specifically targeted at severing toxic etheric attachments tied to the sacral area. Orange spectrum and carnelian work, utilizing seed mantras such as VAM, orange light visualization, and protective stones like the carnelian or orange calcite to flush out stagnant corruption and restore natural emotional vitality. The candle flames, having feasted on a lifetime of stolen desires, suddenly curled from orange to a sickly abyssal indigo, where her lower abdomen should have held the warmth pulse of creation. There was now only a terrifying, motionless vacuum, as if the sacral spiral of her sacral center had been meticulously unwound and replaced with an infinite frozen void. She looked up at the practitioners with eyes that had seen her own reflection within the blackness and realized, with the logic of the doomed, that she wasn't dead, but rather she had been inverted. The thing that now occupied her body didn't want to exist. It wanted to unmake, and as a low, wet, tearing sound emanated from her core, she understood that the first thing it would unmake was herself. And if you liked this video, please do like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, goodbye.